Hello and welcome to Core Finance. I'm Matt Brown. I'm joined by Alessio Rastani, who is the founder and CEO of leadingtrader.com, and we're going to talk about cable today.
Yes, British pound.
The great British pound, as some
yeah,
people say.
absolutely. So I've got two controversial charts I want to show you folks, and I think we're going to get some folks looking at this thing and either completely disagreeing with everything I'm going to say, or they actually might say, yeah, you know what, you're right. So we take a look at this. So what I'm showing you here are, first of all, I'm showing the support resistance levels on the British pound. And I'm also showing the potential Elliott waves, or the probable Elliott waves. And I say probable because it's never set in stone. We don't know for 100% if that's the correct wave count. But certainly, as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm looking at it, this could be one potential scenario or potential wave count. I'm going to show you a different wave count in a few moments, by the way, as well. So, Matt, and everyone who's watching this, take a look, and you'll see that the pound hits that resistance line, that trend line up there. As a matter of fact, that peak that the pound made back in I think it was September, I think it was.
Yes, last month.
Was also the 21 monthly average, just above, just near 136 that was. It's dropped since then, so we're not come to the bottom of that trend line, that support. No, actually, we haven't come down to it. We're sort of just near enough to it in the middle there.
Yes.
So the question is, where is the pound heading from here? Now, there are a lot of factors involved here, but I think one of the best ways to think about it right now is, are we going to break through that resistance? Are we going to go through that triangular formation that's forming there? Or are we going to break to the downside? Whichever it breaks, certainly will give us a much better clue as to what the pound is likely to do next. Now, there is one argument to be made that the pound could actually break lower and head all the way down to 1.2, 1.20. Why? Well, there's the wave count, that wave 5. If that wave 5, in other words, if that's a wave 4 completion, if this whole rally we've seen from the last few months, for the whole of this year, if that's just been a correction to the previous drop, then very likely there's a wave 5 coming that could take us down to 1.20. Personally, I don't think that wave count is correct, so I'm going to show you what I think is the correct wave count in the next one. And the reason I don't think that's going to be correct, the reason why I have doubts about that, Matt, is actually I'll come to that. I'll come to that in a few moments. I think this is a much more likely wave count, which is that we've actually completed this. This is a monthly chart. I think that wave 5 completed all the way down back in the bottom that we formed last year. Which was October. Wow, it's been a year now.
So the start of a new wave pattern coming in.
Yes, I think so, yes. So October last year, I remember, I don't know if you remember, but Matt, we had a massive flash crash.
Yes, the flash crash, yeah.
Yeah, in the pound. And it went right there. And then since then, it started to creep back up. I think, to be honest with you, I think that's going to be a long-term bottom on the pound. The only way I can see the pound ever going back down there is if something came out like... I mean, I think it's unlikely, but if, for example, the current government or some future government said, no, we can't make any deals with the EU, so this whole Brexit situation gets out of hand. So if suddenly the news is no deal with the European Union, there's been warnings, I think, from OECD, an organization that said the pound could make new lows if there's no deal with the EU. So I'm going to put it out there to the folks out there, how likely is it that there's going to be no deal with the EU? I think it's highly unlikely.
Yes.
There's going to be a deal no matter what. So I just don't see the pound seeing that doomsday scenario of going back all the way back to what it was last year. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it. But I think what's likely is this. I think we will see a drop down to 128 to 126 before the next rally up. Again, simply because of the fact that I think we've completed this correction, this kind of bounce up to resistance. Strength in the US dollar, you actually mentioned this. I think if there's strength in the US dollar, which I think is likely, we will see obviously weakness in the euro and weakness in the pound. There's also COT reports, the commit and the traders reports that says that...
The smart money.
Exactly, smart money is betting against. They're shorting the euro and shorting the pound. Both of them are being short, and also they're getting bullish on the dollar. So again, strength in the dollar most likely will lead to pound weakness, euro weakness as well, which could see the pound breaking that trend line and forming the B wave, Or it could be starting a wave 1 and 2 and then starting a new uptrend. We don't know yet, but certainly I'm looking for potential drop down to 128, maybe even 126, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci retrace. And then let's see if we can get that rally back up to 1.3, 1.35. That's, I think, a much more likely scenario. It's not too extreme, it's plausible, and that's what I'm looking for. So I would like to hear what you think about that. Which of these scenarios do you think is likely?
I think the pound at the moment is, in the short term, is going to move out of favour. I think we've got a bit of a downturn, and that probably fits in with this. But I think the dollar is going to dictate for in the short term and medium term where the cable rate goes. But it'd be interesting to hear from our viewers, because it feels like we're at a crossroads around this 131 level. We could go either way. We look at the first chart, we look at the second chart. It's a crossroads, and that's what makes a market. So like I say, it'd be interesting to get viewers' comments on this. Is the pound going higher against the dollar or lower?
I'd like to hear viewers' views as to which of these scenarios do you think is more likely. There's going to be people who are going to say, no, the pound is going to go all the way back, and that's fine. That would certainly be one wave count we've discussed today. And maybe there are folks who are more bullish. By the way, this is the thing. It's important to stick with facts. It's all very well having an opinion, but at the end of the day, you've got to stick with facts. You've got to say, look, these are the resistance levels, these are the support levels, this is what we know about this smart money and what they're doing, and that can give you a much more objective sort of opinion. Rather than just guessing and all that.
So, exactly. Fantastic. Well, on that note, Alessio, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Sam.